Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're diving deep into Regions Financial's Q3 2024 earnings call today. We've gone through their transcript, analyst reports, the whole shebang, and we're here to break it all down.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see what these earnings calls tell us. It's like trying to read the tea leaves for the economy.
So what are the tea leaves saying about Regions? Good quarter, or are we talking doom and gloom?
Well, they actually had a really solid quarter. Earnings were up, helped by growth in net interest income, but
Hmm.
there's always a but, isn't there?
There's always a but in finance. So what's the but this time?
Well, Regions, like a lot of companies right now, is feeling cautiously optimistic.
Cautious optimism, huh? I feel like John Turner, the CEO, used that phrase a few times during their call. What's the story there?
Basically, it seems like they're saying, hey, we're doing well, but we're also keeping a close eye on things. They're seeing some strong performance, but there's also that uncertainty in the broader economy.
Makes sense. It's like trying to enjoy a picnic, but you know there's a chance of rain later. You don't want to pack it in just yet, but you're definitely watching the clouds.
Exactly. And one of those clouds is definitely the slowdown in loan growth. Businesses seem to be hitting the pause button on big spending until after the election, which creates uncertainty for banks like Region.
Yeah, if I were a business owner right now, I'd probably hold off on any major expansions too. There are a lot of factors at play.
Absolutely. You've got inflation, interest rate hikes, and that big question mark hanging over everything, the whole what's going to happen after the election thing.
So how does this impact regions specifically? Are there any particular areas where they're seeing this slowdown more than others?
Yeah, they are. They've seen some wins, like in their energy lending, that portfolio is growing, but that's balanced out by declines in other areas.
Energy lending, huh? With all the talk about renewables, I'd have thought that sector would be on fire.
Oh, it is. But traditional energy sources are still in high demand, and Regions is tapping into that market, which just goes to show there are always multiple narratives at play, right?
I like that. It's a good reminder not to get too caught up in a single headline. So it's a mixed bag then. Some areas up, some down.
Exactly. Some are up, some are down, and everyone's waiting to see what happens next. It's a bit like watching a financial thriller. You know something big is about to happen, but you're not quite sure what.
You and your analogies, uncertainty seems to be the name of the game these days. And speaking of uncertainty, what about the whole deposit situation? Everyone's seen the headlines about people chasing higher interest rates with their savings. Is that causing problems for regions?
Ooh, that is a fantastic question. And a perfect segue to our next topic, because while Regions is dealing with this loan growth situation, they're also facing this other challenge.
What's other challenge? Does it have something to do with interest rates and those hikes everyone's been talking about?
You got it. Remember how everyone was suddenly an expert on high-yield savings accounts and CDs when rates were climbing?
Yeah, it was like a gold rush, but for interest payments.
Right. But here's the thing. It's looking like those aggressive interest rate hikes might be ending. And for banks, well, that creates a different set of challenges.
Okay, I'm following you. But why is it a challenge if interest rates are stabilizing? Shouldn't that be a good thing?
Well, put yourself in the bank's shoes for a second. When those rates were going up, they could attract deposits by offering really good rates. But now, if the rates are leveling out, people might start moving their money around trying to find a better return.
So are they worried about losing their deposits to competitors who maybe offer a slightly better rate?
Exactly. In the call, Regions mentioned this too. They've been doing well managing those deposit costs, but they know they have to stay competitive. It's a balancing act for sure.
It's like walking a tightrope, right?
That's a great way to put it. One wrong move and, well, it's not good. But what's really interesting is that this isn't just Regions, this whole deposit thing. It's industry-wide.
So for the average person who just wants a safe place for their savings, what does it all mean?
It could mean that we've seen the end of those crazy high introductory rates for savings accounts. Banks just might not be so keen to offer them if they're worried about losing those deposits down the line.
Makes sense. People are going to need to be more strategic with their savings now.
Absolutely. And it shows how connected everything in finance is. The Fed makes decisions on interest rates and it impacts everything. I mean, bank profits, what consumers do, everything.
It's a complex web, that's for sure. Let's switch gears just for a minute. We've talked about the challenges, but Regions also had some wins this quarter, particularly with their fee income.
They did. It was definitely a highlight, and I think it shows they're able to find opportunity even in uncertain times.
So while everyone else is hitting the brakes, Regions is finding ways to accelerate. Tell me more about this fee income growth.
Let's dive into the details.
Okay, fee income. Spill the tea.
So their M&A advisory fees. Remember we were talking about those earlier?
Right.
That's a big part of this. It's like
Yeah.
they're the matchmakers getting those mergers and acquisitions to happen.
And getting paid well for it. I mean, it's pretty impressive finding these opportunities when everything's so uncertain.
Absolutely. They're not just sitting around waiting for things to get better. Instead, they're actively looking for ways to grow, diversify that revenue.
Talk about making lemonade. But we can't forget about those investments they're making, getting ready for the future. I mean, lots of money going into technology, talent, right?
Yeah, you're right. And this is where things get really interesting. I mean, they know they have to be ready for whatever happens in the future, right? So they're making moves, things that will give them an edge over the competition.
Can you give some concrete examples? What kind of technology are they focusing on?
Well, their treasury management platform, for one, that's basically the central nervous system for businesses managing their money, cash flow, payments, all that. And they're making it even better, more powerful, user-friendly.
So making life easier for businesses, which in turn makes regions more attractive. Win-win.
Exactly. It's not about chasing the latest fads either. This is about understanding what their clients need, staying ahead of the curve.
And they're also beefing up their team, right? Building a dream team of financial experts.
They are. They're expanding their wealth management team. That's one thing they mentioned. And I think that tells us something. They're playing the long game here, trying to attract and keep those high net worth clients.
So big picture thinking. But like with any investment, there are risks. What could go wrong here?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Things are still uncertain. No one has a crystal ball. These investments will take time to pay off. There's always a chance the market throws a curveball, that those returns aren't what they expect.
A calculated risk, then.
Exactly. And that's what makes Regions so interesting, at least to me. They see the challenges, but they're still moving forward.
Cautious, yeah, but optimistic. Investing in the future. That's a powerful message.
It is. And for everyone listening, it reminds us that even with all this uncertainty, there's still opportunity out there. It's about being smart, strategic, maybe a little bold.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And remember, knowledge is power. The more you understand the financial world, the better you can navigate it.
And that's what we're all about here on The Deep Dive. Keep those questions coming, keep exploring, and we'll be back again soon with another deep dive into the world of finance.
And may your portfolio be ever in the green.
That's a wrap.